You ever get that feeling that you're just stuck? Like you're running on a hamster wheel, day in and day out, watching the clock tick by? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty radical philosophy from a thinker they call Uncle Hugh. And his big idea is that slavery never actually ended. It just got a rebrand. Modern slaves don't wear chains, but watches. Whoa. Just let that one sink in for a second. This is the big, bold statement that kicks everything off. It's meant to make you question what freedom even means anymore. Are you really as free as you think you are? So, let's break this down. How in the world did we get to a place where the main tool of control went from a heavy iron chain to something we literally strap onto our own wrists? Okay, so here's the argument. After the Industrial Revolution, the game completely changed. Society stopped valuing what a person could make with their hands and started valuing something totally different, their time. See, the control wasn't about physical force anymore. It was not controlling the schedule. We go around thinking we're just selling our labor, but what we're actually selling is way, way more valuable. We're selling our life, our limited, precious time on this planet. I mean, just think about it. It starts when we're kids, right? In school, we're trained to live by a bell schedule that someone else sets. Then we grow up, and our value gets boiled down to an hourly wage. We work specific hours, we get paid for overtime hours. Our entire existence gets chopped up into these little blocks of time that we sell off. It's been so normalized that we don't even question it, but as Uncle Hu says, you don't see any other animal in nature living like this. And that really leads to this massive question. You know, if the entire rhythm of your life, when you wake up, when you work, when you eat, even when you rest, if that's all dictated by someone else's schedule, can you honestly, truly say you're free? And to really get a grip on this whole clock thing, we've got to talk about what money really is. We usually think of money as, a way to buy stuff, a house, a car, whatever. But this philosophy reframes it completely. Money isn't just buying power. It's the power to control the time of other people. And this is the fundamental difference. See, most of us are on one side of this deal. We're selling our hours for cash. But the truly wealthy, they're on the other side. They're not selling their time at all. They're building systems, companies, apps, platforms that let them buy and control the time of hundreds, thousands, even millions of other people. That's the real game. Okay, so if this whole system is a trap, why do we all just stay in it? Well, according to Uncle Hugh, the answer is the most effective controller there is. This system is brilliant, really. It doesn't need physical walls or chains because it uses something way more powerful, our own psychology. It gets that the thing we humans fear most isn't really hardship, it's the unknown, it's uncertainty. So it offers us a deal, a trade. Give us your freedom, and we'll give you a little bit of security. And this is the invisible cage, the steady paycheck, the fancy job title, the comfort of knowing exactly what your life is going to look like next week, next month, next year. These are the golden handcuffs. The system gives us just enough safety and predictability to make us absolutely terrified of what would happen if we ever tried to walk away. So you see how it all fits together? It's a perfect, vicious cycle. Time is the unit of control. Money is the currency used to trade that time. And fear, that deep human fear of the unknown, is the glue that holds the whole cage together. All right, so now that we get the problem, we're faced with a really big choice. And Uncle Hu frames this as a kind of battle, a battle between two very different types of networks. He asks this really jarring question to make us think. Why is it that destructive networks, things that rely on addiction and cause harm, can spread so incredibly fast? But constructive networks, the ones that are all about sharing knowledge and empowering people, why do they grow so slowly? When you put them side by side, the difference is just staggering. One network thrives on human weakness, on addiction. It grows fast, but it destroys people. The other network, it requires patience, requires learning and education. And it grows slow, but its whole purpose is to set people free. So the choice for every single one of us is, which network are you going to feed? Which one are you going to help build? So how do we actually build a knowledge network that can compete? Well, the idea here is to create a totally new kind of system, one that rewards something that our current economy pretty much ignores completely. And this is the absolute core of the problem, isn't it? Our modern platforms are amazing at rewarding two groups, the investors who fund them and the tech that runs them. But they always forget the most important piece of the puzzle, the teacher, the actual human being who shares their knowledge to help someone else grow. I mean, think about it. On almost every platform you use, the value comes from us, the users, creating and sharing. But the rewards, they flow straight to the top. This idea wants to flip that whole script on its head. The solution is actually really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Just imagine a system where the main thing that gets rewarded is the act of teaching. So someone who knows something shares it. A learner takes that information, understands it, and makes their own choice. And if that learner benefits, the system itself automatically rewards the teacher. This tiny shift changes everything. It creates a world where your value isn't just what you can do, but what you can teach, turning every single person with knowledge into a potential hero for someone else's freedom. Okay, let's zoom out for the finale and see how all these pieces come together to form a much bigger and honestly, a much more hopeful vision for our future. You see, the endgame here isn't just about launching another app or another platform. It's about triggering a fundamental shift in how people see themselves. The goal is to help a whole community move from being known as cheap labor, a nation of people selling their time, to becoming a nation of digital citizens, people who understand, who create, and who actually own their own digital future. Because real, lasting change never comes from the top down. It's not going to be handed to us by some government or a big corporation. The future is always, always built by the small community of people who wake up first, who see the system for what it is, and who decide, you know what, we can build something better together. And that's what it all comes down to. This one final piercing question. And it's a choice that's about so much more than just technology or money. It's a choice about how you want to live your one life. So, will you be one of the people who awakens, or will you let yourself be led by the nose for the rest of your life? The choice, as always, is yours.